A very good afternoon to all of you. Nas, okay. Okay, very good afternoon to all of you, at least. Aditya, good afternoon. Prajot, good afternoon. Nisya, good afternoon. Adidev, good afternoon. Nirubama, good afternoon. Afsana, good afternoon. Vishnupriya, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Always power failure, I think so. So please switch on the videos. Please switch on the videos. Hadi, Hadidi, John Samuel, Fia, Surya Krishna Kumar, Melvin, Haya, Meghana, Rose, Rifa, Arjun. Switch on the videos. Please switch on the videos. Two people told me some reason I have permitted. Others, if you don't want to switch on, you may quit the place. No need to attend the class. Hadi Amin, Hadidi. If you don't want to switch on the video, you may quit. Johan, Savio, Emil. Join with the video. In the last class, we have seen that he tried to find an unknown virus that killed the caterpillars, The next year, the science project, fair project was, science fair project means county fair project, county exhibition project, not the rough project and fair project. Clear now? County fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarch butterflies. Viceroy butterflies were copying down the monarch butterflies. Underline. The theory was that viceroys look like monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds. So, the monarch butterflies are not tasty. So birds won't kill and eat them. Therefore, the viceroy butterflies were copying down the pattern of monarch butterflies in order to save from the birds. This is a theme project. Viceroys, on the other hand, do taste good to birds. This is the reason. The flesh of viceroy butterflies are tasty for the birds. So the birds eat viceroy butterflies. So they are killed. But monarch butterflies were not killed by birds because its flesh was not tasty. So in order to save themselves from the birds, the viceroy butterflies copied the body structure of monarch butterflies. So the more they look like monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner. Clear now? This is the thing. A bride's project was to see whether, in fact, birds would eat monarchs. So a bride's project was that whether the birds eat monarch butterflies. He found that a starling is a small bird, a starling would not eat ordinary bird food. So starling is a bird which does not eat bird's food. It would eat all the monarchs it could get. Underline. Starling ate always the monarch butterflies. A bride said later, research by the other people showed that viceroys probably do copy the monarch. So it is proved. So there was a bird which is starling. It didn't eat bird's food. It usually ate monarch butterflies. So he proved it in his project. This project was placed first in the zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. So this project was given the prize, third prize in the zoology department, and he was given the first prize, overall prize in the county fair. So wherever he presents his project, wherever he presents his experiments, he was awarded. You see, a scout boy to a scientist. That you have to remember always. Transition of a scout boy to a scientist. By the way, I got certain information from maths department that there are some few, I got the names also. I am not saying the names here. There are some students who have not responded the maths project. You have not given the reply. So kindly note, those students who did not respond to the maths project, only 4 or 5 students are there. The names are given to me. They should contact the maths teacher today itself and respond to the project. In his second year in high school, Richard Ebright began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. So you see, every year, he takes a new theme and he tries to work out on it. Last year, in the previous year, he worked on an unknown virus. Suppose if Richard Ebright was here now, he would have found a pure vaccine for corona. Understand? He would be able to find out the proper vaccine for corona. So here you see, in his second year in the high school, Richard Ebright began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Underline. So he made a research, and that research resulted in the discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Indirectly, it also led to his theory on the life of cells. So he developed a theory on the life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. The question was very simple. What was the question? What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? Underline. This was his question. What was the question? All the butterflies come out of pupa, isn't it? That you know, egg, larva, pupa, adult. So, there were 12 golden spots, dots on the pupa of monarch butterfly. His research was that what is the meaning, what is the purpose of these 12 dots, golden dots? What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots of a monarch pupa? What is the purpose? 12 dots are there. This was his research. Everyone assumed the spots were just ornamental, a bride said. Everyone thought that these gold spots were only ornamental, a decoration of the pupa. During the time of festivals, we decorate. During the time of festivals, we decorate many things. So in this way, the pupa is decorated with some dots and dots and dots. This was the general idea prevailed among the people. But Dr. Urquhart didn't believe it. So Dr. Urquhart was considered an important person in the life of Richard Albright. Dr. Urquhart was a research person on insects. So when the people made the comment that these 12 golden spots were a decorative item, a decorative spot on the pupa, Dr. Urquhart told, it is not a decorative spot. It has some meaning. It has some importance. There is something other than that. So Urquhart did not agree with this idea. To find the answer, Albright and another excellent science student first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's development. Underline, you see. When the people said there is no much importance or secrecy on these spots, that those dots are very ornamental. You need not worry about these spots. Richard Albright also thought like that. But when Richard Albright referred this matter to Dr. Urquhart, Urquhart told Richard Albright, Richard, these are not decorative, ornamental spots. These are not symbol spots. It may have its own importance. It may have certain importance on the pupa of butterfly, monarch. So, when Richard Albright heard the comment from Dr. Urquhart, he thought differently. He thought, if Urquhart says there is some meaning, Urquhart did not agree with the people on their common idea of symbol spots. Urquhart told it is not symbol spots, it is something different. This made our Richard to make a research on this. And the result has come. What was the result? It produced the result that, underline, these spots were producing a hormone. These spots were a hormone producing agent, producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. So, in the development of a living being, in the development of an organism, biological terms, in the growth of an organism, living organism, hormones play a major role. Hormones play a major role. So, in the development or in the growth of a caterpillar to a butterfly, see, a caterpillar enters a pupa. A caterpillar enters a pupa. Within the pupa, or being inside the pupa, the caterpillar gets changes. A lot of changes will happen. This caterpillar becomes an adult butterfly. That is the life cycle of butterfly. So during this transformation from caterpillar to adult butterfly, you see, in caterpillar, it has a large body, heavy body. It has no wings. But within the pupa, the large body becomes a weightless small body. Weightless small body. The weight is discharged. The size of the body is discharged. And wings are formed. Beautiful wings are formed. So a lot of transformation was happening in the life of the larva. The life of the larva. So the research of Richard Ebright proved that these kind of transformations were happening in the life of larva means caterpillar. Larva means caterpillar. Caterpillar of a butterfly is because of the presence of certain hormones. And these hormones were produced by these golden spots. This was the discovery of Richard Ebright. And thus he proved that the 12 gold spots over the pupa of a butterfly are not ornamental decorative spots. They are substantial gold spots which produced hormone. Then that hormone is necessary for the growth of a butterfly. This project won Ebright first place in the county fair. You see, wherever he goes, first prize. First place in county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. So he got entry, qualified. You see, Olympics qualified, isn't it? Olympics qualified. If you reach this level, you will be qualified to Olympics. In this way, this time, when Richard Ebright proved the presence of hormones, his thesis, his project won the first prize in county fair, and he got an admission. He got an admission to present his exhibition in the Science and Technology, International Science and Technology, Science and Engineering Fair, underline. There he won third place for zoology. So he got the prize there. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory, underline. So after getting the award from the Science and Engineering Fair, our Richard A. Bright got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory. What is entomology laboratory? Entomology is a science regarding insects. Science about insects. That is called entomology, science of insects. So, he got a chance to work with the scientists who were working in the entomology department of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. So there was a famous institute of research, Walter Reed Army. In that research institute, there were a number of research scientists, and our 10th class Richard Bright got a chance to work with those scientists. That means he was recognized as a good scientist. As a high school junior, Richard A. Bright continued his advanced experiments. You see, a junior fellow, a high school junior, conducted senior experiments. You see his growth? Continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. So he did not stop there. He continued his experiments on the monarch pupa, on the monarch butterfly or monarch pupa. That year, his project won first place at the International Science Fair. Underline, he got the first place. He was projected to the first place. He got the first prize in the International Science Fair, and gave him another chance to work in the Army Laboratory. Which Army Laboratory? Walter Reed Army Laboratory during the summer. So he was invited, or he was given the chance. In his second year, he went a step further. So he was not stopping anywhere else. From one step, he was going to the next step. From 40%, he was going to 50%. When he reached 50%, he did not stop there. He reached 70%. From 70%, he reached 80%. From 80%, he reached 90%. His progress was ongoing. He grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. Underline, this was his finding. He grew, he fostered, he developed cells from a monarch's wing. He took cells from the monarch butterfly's wings, and he made a culture test, and that showed the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly. So he developed that if we take a cell from monarch butterfly's wings, you will be able to develop that cell into a butterfly. butterfly. This was his research. This was his research. And this growth is fed by, this growth is supported by whom? The gold spots. The gold spots. That project won first place for zoology at the international fair. He got the first prize. He spent the summer after graduation doing further work at the Army laboratory and at the laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. The following summer, after his freshman year at Harvard University, Ebright went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone from the gold spots. So this was his interested zone. He worked more on the hormones. He worked more on the hormones. He was interested to work with the hormones. And he understood that this hormone is developed from the golden spots. Using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments means difficult, complicated instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. So in that laboratory, he could find out the hormone's chemical structure. That means he was doing the research on the hormones. It was his great invention. He invented that this hormone that makes a larva into a pure adult butterfly is the hormone. That hormone is in the gold spots. The gold spots are on the pupa. So it was a great invention. So he wanted to make researches on this thing. So that is why he told that using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments, complicated instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. Underline, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. You see, 2/3 of the class is not opening the video. For whom I stop my class here. If you don't want to open the video, you need not attend the class. I told you, you can quit the class. Otherwise, I will remove you from the class. Only these 10 or 12 students are always keeping the video. New theory about cell life. It came while he was looking at X-ray photos of the chemical structure of hormone. It came while he was looking at X-ray photos of the chemical structure of hormone. So he again continued his research. He again continued his research on the cells and hormones. So when he studied the X-rays of the cells, he got some idea. And from there, he began to invent, he began to discover, he began to find the chemical structure of hormone. A lot of, you see, a student of class 10, 11, 12, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a small student from whom these kind of inventions came out. We have to think about us. We have to think about us. So, it came while he was looking at X-ray photos of the chemical structure of hormone. When he saw those photos, Ebright didn't shout Eureka. Who shouted with the word Eureka? Who shouted?
Archimedes.
Archimedes. The word Eureka is matching with Archimedes. Archimedes found the theory of volume. So he was standing in front of the bathing tub. The bathing tub was filled with water. Then he jumped into the tub. What happened? It overflowed. Water went out. Seeing that, he understood that the water flown out of the tub was equal to the volume of his body. That is what is Archimedes' principle. When he understood this theory, he shouted in his mother tongue. Eureka. The word Eureka means I found. So here you see, Ebright did not shout Eureka or even I have got it. The meaning is written there, I have got it. But he believed that along with his findings about insect hormones, the photos gave him the answer to one of biology's puzzles. Biology's questions. Here puzzle means unsolved question. Unanswered question. What was that? Underline. How the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. How the cell can show the blueprint of DNA. Underline, that is the doubt here raised. How the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. That you know, science you have studied in DNA. So through DNA, we can understand the roots of heredity. It determines the form and function of the cell. DNA determines whose cell is this. With the search on the DNA, we can find out who is the father of this child, who is the grandfather of this child. The heredity can be learned. So it determines the form and function of the cell. Thus, DNA is the blueprint of life. This is the invention of Richard Ebright. Thus he proved the DNA is the blueprint of life. Okay, the rest we will see in the next class. Okay, thank you.